Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back to live community comments / channel chat, which is just what I typed into the title of this video the last time we did it, and I didn't change it. I'm here with Allison and
Hello.
Gannon, and we
Yes.
have our new fancy camera
Yes.
that we bought for Skyvault, but aren't using for Skyvault because now we're using some super expensive thing called an Alexa that we're
Right,
able
the
to
Alexa
rent
camera.
for like $4,000 each.
Mm-hmm.
Because our producers keep finding us really awesome deals on things. And
We have some pretty cool producers.
yeah. Anyway, we were going to read through some of the comments that we got on the video this Monday when we announced the whole Skyvault thing, and then we were going to take your comments in the chat in addition to those, but I printed out a sheet with some of the most common questions, and we were just going to run through those real quick. So we have one from Andy Rosine that says, so if it ends up on Netflix, then what will the $10 backers get? So we got that one a lot.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to clarify that anybody that has donated to the project, either on Kickstarter or on PayPal, will still get a digital download of the series, no matter who we distribute it to. We will make sure that's in the contract from the beginning, like in the agreement with the distributor. We'll make sure they're aware that we've already done this and we've promised the download to these people. Somebody at one point suggested in a comment that we do like get like a petition thing where you guys can sign saying like, hey, we exist and paid for this, and we'll still go watch it on Netflix, kind of thing, just to show them like, look, our fan base is cool, and they're gonna keep supporting this, even though they're getting the download already.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, whatever we end up doing, anybody who donated will definitely get what they paid for. We're not gonna go back on any of the rewards that we said we would give out.
Yeah.
We also have one from David Hill that asked will the pilot be posted on YouTube.
I wondered about that. What do you think?
Almost no. I don't think it's actually going to be posted on YouTube. We will probably so the idea is
The
the
original pilot though, like, because we'll probably have to reshoot
the pilot will probably be reshot.
But then we have the original one still.
We do, so maybe one day, but
Yeah, it won't be like anything immediate.
It's not like we're going to film it and then put it on YouTube,
right?
Because we're going to be showing it to Netflix, or not even just Netflix. Whoever we're going to be showing it to, it's entirely likely that they're going to want some exclusivity, and the pilot is supposed to be episode 1 of the full thing. It's not a standalone story, so we want to be sure that that's still contained as part of the deal that we're selling to people.
Yeah.
But the backers will probably also include the original pilot along with the download of the series, just for fun, because then we'll just have like an alternate version of the episode.
Let's see. So Elizabeth Reese asks, hi friends, if Netflix doesn't work out, you should check out Geek and Sundry. They are super awesome nerdy creators like you who do sometimes pick up shows. Just some food for thought. I've heard that name, I don't know who they are.
Geek and Sundry is the one that hosts Critical Role, and Will Wheaton runs it, and Felicia Day is on it a lot, and Will Friedle does his miniature painting.
Is it nerdy enough for them?
It's possible. The reason I included the comment is just to reiterate like how many options we have if Netflix doesn't pick it up, like even down to things like that, or somebody pointed out that like Rooster Teeth is here in town and we they pick up stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah, if Netflix doesn't pick it up, there's so many options. When you have a pilot, I think that what's nice about it is if you have a pilot that good, you really do have the option to shop it around. So when you put all that money into it, you put all that work, you have all those different teams working on making it kind of come to life and look good, then I think that you're just sitting pretty for a bit. Even if, no, again.
That's okay, this one's not plugged in apparently.
Okay, he eats the microphone. I think that Netflix is just the go-to because it's a big name and people know it. It's got easy access, it's everywhere, that kind of stuff. But,
yeah. Netflix would be ideal because, it's just the most kind of prolific of them. But there's a whole ladder of different people we can bring it to, and hopefully get more money to be able to continue making it. We got one comment from Peggy Schutt that says, congratulations on your engagement, plus I'm super excited about the Skyvault pilot and cool about guards themselves too.
Oh, Peggy.
I just wanted to include that because we mentioned her in the last one, but I cut that piece out. Peggy is an actor from the guards themselves that we cast as one of the main roles in Skyvault, so good to know that.
She's wonderful. She's the one that set us up with our producers and got this whole ball rolling.
If it weren't for her, none of this actually would have happened because...
Thanks, Peggy.
Yeah, thank you very much. She knew the producer that we're now working with, so that's why we were able to get started on any of this kind of like higher level production stuff anyway, so that's awesome. And you guys can look forward to seeing her in Skyvault, because I'm sure she'll do a fantastic job, as always. I've mentioned this story to people before, but Peggy, like, you could like flip a coin and accurately predict whether or not Peggy was in any Art Institute movie.
Yeah.
She was just in so many different things. Locally, she's done everything from student films all the way up to like big commercials, and yeah, just a fun person to work with. So we're excited to have her on board.
Someone who does not know my name, but what refers to me as Kyle's girlfriend, has asked multiple times about looking at investors.
What is the context of it? Or
No, they're just asking, have you put thought into getting some real investors into investing it? Yes, they're not really a thing.
Turns out
like,
real investors is a vague concept, kind of.
Well, first of all, yeah, I mean, it's people who just have money, like enough money that we would need, that just want to invest. In real life, what it comes out to is called donating. And they don't really, there's not a lot of people who just want to donate to this kind of stuff. So we've tried.
Well, it depends on, it is
we don't
for
have
us.
A circle for
because
it.
we don't, for the most part, we didn't have anything to guarantee that they would get back. An investment implies that you're going to get back what you put in plus some.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, we had no way of guaranteeing that whatsoever. We were just kind of, hoping that it worked out and that we would then sell it, but we couldn't say definitively, you will get this plus this back. And then even when we got to a point where that was a possibility,
mm-hmm.
it was, it still wasn't completely certain, so it was still hard to find people, and the people that we did find wanted additional things in return that we weren't interested in doing on the project.
Yeah, investors sound like a real thing, but aren't.
Kind of, yeah, it's hard to, it just doesn't work out as well as you hope it would, because it's not a good investment, actually, just dumping your money into some
Art.
random people that are trying to make something and hoping that it sells. It just doesn't work out. So the people that do want to do that probably don't have great decision making. Or they're just really nice, but we didn't run into any of those people
rich,
specifically.
Yeah, we haven't run into the people who are very rich and also want to just give us their money.
Yeah.
Haven't found any. We tried.
But if you can prove that you can make something and then bring it to a company that then will help you make it, that is significantly easier, it turns out.
We are looking into investors. Netflix.
Right. I mean, it's a joint thing. I don't know if we actually brought that up really last time so much. The idea is that if we bring it to Netflix, they'll be paying for us to make the rest of the show. Like talking, like $1 million up, like a lot, like a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, I think there are some that we.
Oh, there's one last comment.
There's one last comment. The Collective, should we provide a gift for your wedding?
Please don't. But we appreciate the offer.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Here,
Anyway.
You can give a gift if we invite you.
I don't know if they require an invitation to show up.
Yes, they do. I have people for that.
Hell, you know. What does the Collective even look like? We don't know.
They look like the people we didn't invite.
How do you know?
Oh no!
Anyway, we will. That was all the prepared questions. So, if you have any questions now, feel free to ask them in the chat. We'll try to keep up with a few of them, but Joey will curate a few.
A lot of people are asking about the copyright update.
The copyright thing. So we are. I'm actually waiting. Supposedly there might be some new information on it, according to our lawyer. So I'm gonna hear what she has to say, but I don't know what it's gonna be. But unless it's suddenly actually it'll only cost you $5,000, then
right.
After a lot of discussion, what we've decided we will probably do, the best thing to do at the moment, is to go ahead and drop the trademark application and try again at a later date. I know that doesn't sound great, but one, none of the options are actually good. Dear God.
Well, I think we should just tell them what the options are and why we chose the one that we chose.
Yeah, I mean, I think I explained them in the video, but...
I don't think enough.
Okay, I mean, you can take a crack at it if you want.
I think...
Make sure my phone doesn't
So, okay, so I think the decision... Well, I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it. Okay, so we want to be able to fight back with Monster. The way that looks is that they have their settlement whenever, the end of this month or something like that.
They have a deadline.
They have their deadline at the end of this month, and then after that, we either choose to fight it or to concede, basically, to whatever standards they have for Door Monster. So, and what this whole thing is over is Door Monster is trademarked. It's just not, like, legally trademarked, I guess, is kind of maybe more of the...
Once you start using a mark, it becomes a trademark. You're legally allowed to use the little TM logo at the end, you know, of your icon. A registered trademark, which is the circle with the R in it, is when you file paperwork with the federal government saying, like, just putting down, like, we registered this on this date, so that if somebody else tries to use it, it just makes your legal case stronger, because you can be like, look, we have this paper filed with the government saying we said this is ours on this date and it was acknowledged and this whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's not that we like are necessarily losing something. We didn't already have it. We're not trying to defend it or anything.
Right.
It was just we were filing for that one extra step.
So the biggest thing is, as much as we've been able to save for a lot of things, all of our Door Monster money has been going into sketches and equipment and making sure that the channel, all in all, gets a lot better. And it does go to things like this sometimes. But fighting Monster Energy, like if we decide to push forward, we would definitely win any kind of lawsuit that did happen between it. We would absolutely win. It would, hands down, not be an issue. The issue is they could easily just stall us out of money.
Right.
Very, very quickly. We just don't have the amount of money that it would take. I mean, it's not like a $10,000 process. It's like a $10,000 process for the first round.
$10,000 retainer, and then it just goes up in increments of $10,000 after that. So.
Right.
Yeah, it could eventually...
I don't think we've made a decision yet entirely, but...
I mean, we could still possibly move one way or the other, but our thinking was, we're doing so many things right now. We're trying to do the guards themselves, Skyvault, we're trying to move, we're just trying to do all these different things, and we feel like if we try to do too much at once, we're gonna fail at something. And so if we have to, like, if there's an option to kind of back away and leave this alone for now...
Well, Monster might be watching.
They might be, I guess.
They could. I mean, if they're keeping tabs on us,
they'll hear this from our lawyer when they get back to them.
That's fair enough. We plan on going after Monster when we have the funds to do so.
We're not. No, I mean we're not going after anybody. We're going to refile our trademark later, and if they want to contest it again,
then they're going to contest it, and we're going to have to go after.
Then at that point, we will argue. We're not going after anyone. They're going after us just for the record. They're the aggressors in the situation. We are just trying to file our trademark.
Yeah.
That's all that's happening. So if they decide again to do the same thing,
I think going after and fighting back
we'll have
interchangeable terms.
Probably not legally, though.
I don't think going after is illegal. Well, it might be actually. It might be a legal term. I have no idea. But we don't have the money.
Well, it's also just morally. I just want to make it clear we are not being aggressive in the situation at all. We're just trying to register our trademark, and Monster Energy is just making us waste money on it for no reason.
Yeah, we're not doing the morally incorrect thing and going after a very, very corrupt, awful company or anything like that. Don't worry.
We're not, I'm just saying, we're not actually making any kind of attack. We're just trying to do our own thing. They're the ones attacking.
Yeah.
But we don't have the money to do it right now, and we might later, so we're going to wait and do it later. The only risk with that is that presumably they could, have a problem with us continuing to use the mark anyway, but I don't really see that being an issue because
they can't have a problem with us having the mark. Like
we don't
Door Monster
overlap.
existing doesn't infringe on anything they could possibly argue.
Yeah.
It only starts to infringe when we legally want Door Monster to be trademarked, and that's the only time they can even kind of pretend that we're doing anything against them. So shouldn't be a problem until it is, and then when it is, we will have the money.
Yeah.
But for right now, it doesn't look like we have the funds to do something like that, so... It's kind of a crap company.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Like, I've never liked Monster. Every time I've ever been to, they have the X Games in Austin, and Monster always has, a tent that's set up at the X Games, and it's literally, the grossest people that are there. Not the people that show up, the people that are working the Monster stand are just, the rudest men that I've ever met. And the women are all incredibly nice, but they are, as naked as possible. That you can be. Well, I think you can be even more naked in Austin, but probably for that company, it's just, naked women that clearly don't want to be there, and gross men that the women clearly don't want to be by, and then there's all the great people that are showing up to go hang out in that tent, and it's just.
I mean, they kind of decided their brand early and then stuck to it, which is that kind of culture.
Like,
I guess,
that kind of thing is like, okay, sure, if you want that to be like your vibe, but then when it's like known that you just go after small companies that share the word monster, then you're just actually the worst.
It does apparently happen pretty often. Like, you can find lists online of all the different companies.
There is a 10-page list with 20 items per page of companies they've gone after because they just have the word monster in their name.
Yeah.
Like, get a life. Do something else. Be a productive member of society.
I mean, we had some people pointing out that if you don't... I don't know what this means, but or where people heard this line repeated, but quote-unquote, if you don't defend your trademark, you can lose it. But I also have never heard any other company doing this.
If you don't defend it?
Yeah, and again, I don't know what that means, because people would... We had comments saying that, but I don't know... They didn't elaborate, so I don't know what that means, or if they knew what that meant. Anyway, moving on from that topic, we got a few comments from Joey in the Discord. Everyone apparently wants to know if I'm growing a beard.
Can they see it? Oh, this is a nice
good
camera.
I was curious to see what would happen if I just didn't shave for 3 weeks, and my face doesn't know what to do, so this is the best it's got.
We have the time, and I told him I'd still love him if he wanted to give it a shot. So, I don't think it's that bad. It's not
good.
But it's not that bad. I've seen worse. I've seen intentionally worse. People who are trying.
I think it's because I still have a teenage face, technically, so it's just not working yet. Maybe in like 10 years it'll be able to do it.
I almost like it, like in an endearing way, but not in like an it's cute way.
It's not comfortable at all. I'm going to shave it before we film the next video. We're going to do Elite Dangerous sometime this week. But I figured I'd just leave it and see what happened before then.
I have seen beards transform. Like, legitimately, I have seen people have the grossest thing for weeks, and then just, like, 1 week is like, oh my god, that's what your beard is supposed to look like. I don't know what it is. Like, I've seen people who can't grow beards decide to just, like, wait the 8-week mark, and then you're like, oh my god. Well, that's crazy. Look, it just takes those longer to grow. You just didn't know it.
Well, maybe I'll try again after we do all of our filming.
You're not shaving that yet.
I'll shave it before we do the video.
The video?
Yeah, that's what you said. Then before we do Elite Dangerous.
No.
No.
You have to have it for Elite Dangerous. You're not done.
I'm going to look like a gross space pilot for Elite Dangerous.
You're going to have to.
No.
I'm not going to let you shave it.
No.
Yep.
No. Only if you paint in the rest of my beard. You have to do makeup. We also have... King Talon asks, everyone's asking about the amazing series you guys are going to make. What do you plan for the littler skits? We posted up a list in the last video. We didn't include it like a thing over. It's over there.
Behind the light.
Don't want to move the camera. But we have the rest of the videos for the year blocked out. We've got Elite Dangerous next, then a D&D, then a video about Lola, then a video called Straight Man, which is like a TV show intro for a superhero called Straight Man, played by Ethan. Then one that we still haven't completely figured out yet, but is only known by its concept title, which is Zombie Experts in a Different Apocalypse, which I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
We have the finale after that. We have something about SpongeBob references based on something Ian always points out, which is just how universally applicable SpongeBob references are, no matter like your social class or where you come from.
Is it Ian or Ethan that pointed that out?
Ian is the one that points it out. Ethan is the one that makes them all the time.
Ethan is the one that proves Ian's point.
Yeah. Then we have the guards themselves Lincoln video, then a hobo video, and then a sequel to Raised by Video Games for Christmas Eve, actually. And then
sorry.
By that point, we'll have
I'm such a lady.
A new list, I guess. Pure Potato asks, what is your favorite type of cheese?
Wait! Ninja Mapping would like to marry me. Wait. Ninja Mapping would like to marry me for a green card, and I want you to know that, yes, I would happily marry people for green cards.
But you have a time limit of like a year.
A year of what?
Before you'll be married. I don't think you can marry someone else if you're already married.
No, I know. Yeah. I wouldn't divorce you to marry someone else to get their green card, but if we ever get divorced, I will happily just remarry people and then divorce them after 3 years so they can get their green card.
I bet there's people that do that as a service.
Yeah, 100%.
Where you can pay to just marry them and then
Yeah.
Get them in the country.
I think you have to be married for 3 years.
Okay.
You might not have to be married for that long, but at a certain time you can like contest it, and they can argue that you didn't marry for love and then kick you out of the country or something like that. I watch a lot of TLC, so
I've been watching Breaking Bad finally for the first time, and I've learned that there are people that will take money to do literally anything. So, not that it's like an accurate example of real life, but I bet all of those things actually happen. Like, I'm sure there's somebody in real life who gets paid to go to jail.
Will you marry someone for a green card?
I mean, yeah, I'd probably do the same thing.
Can you? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. That doesn't put me out in any way.
Nah. You just, I mean,
other than having the paperwork, you know.
Yeah, marrying is literally just paperwork.
Yeah.
You don't even have to like deal with them. Actually, I think you do get interviewed like
really?
Multiple times. I think.
Well,
like
that's fine. That's
3
just an
times.
acting gig and then paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. Put it on your resume. So, cheese.
What's your favorite type of cheese?
It depends on what for. For baking it on top of things, blue cheese. But for eating it with crackers, brie. All brie. Any brie. Brie.
I'm not familiar enough with types of cheese.
That's
but
a fucking shame.
Mostly like hard. Well, because I'm not good with food, because Ian's not here to make fun of me, so I guess I'll just do it for him. Basically, my whole face is broken, so I can't see color, and also my nose doesn't work. And because my nose doesn't work, I can't taste very well either, which means I'm not very sensitive to taste. I can eat mostly anything, but then I also have to have like really strong things to be able to taste well. So cheese is in the same category. If it's like a strong, like hard cheese, I usually like it better just because I can taste it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good example of a cheese that you like. That I can.
I like smoked stuff. Like if you have like the hard smoked cheese, that's pretty good.
I think that's a good enough answer. We'll just go with that. Hard smoked cheese.
Jairus Rich asked, how much did you have to learn about legal issues making Skyvault? Way more than I ever wanted to know.
Really?
Well, you know what? I guess
Skyvault?
Probably not just Sky. I think really just doing Door Monster. Skyvault by itself, not as much.
Skyvault hasn't legally been much of an issue.
We really just started on the legal stuff with Skyvault, so we'll see how that goes. Like, we're filing a trademark for Skyvault next, so hopefully that doesn't run into any problems.
Yeah.
We've been assured that they did some kind of lookup thing. They looked up any possible oppositions and didn't find anything, so hopefully it should be fine. But yeah, with Door Monster, I've learned all kinds of stuff.
Someone says, knowing you practice martial arts and some videos have well choreographed fight scenes, will you do some in Skyvault?
Yes.
How did you successfully convince someone that you
I don't know how you got that from my videos.
John maybe.
Well, we did the Avatar video because I was taking Bob off for a little bit.
That's a good point.
But I never became proficient in it. I didn't spend enough time on it. And I'm not super proud of the fight choreography in that one. Actually, it's okay, but it was more of a special effects practice.
For Skyvault, we have a great
For Skyvault, we have Edwin.
He is amazing.
And yeah,
he literally does fight choreography as his job as well as filming. He films fighting. That's what he does. He does the fighting and then he films the fighting. He's both. And he's truly great. He's been able to teach me how to film fight scenes. He's been able to teach our actors how to do the fight scenes. He's fantastic.
Skyvault
Highly
has
recommend.
Great action scenes. We've been writing them into the scripts, and now that we're going to have the people and resources to actually make them, they're gonna rock, and you're gonna love them. I can't wait. It'll be much better than anything that we've done.
Yeah. Do you have some questions that you want to go through? Or?
We have Nick Van Giel asks, when is Squire's Door Monster video? I'm not sure exactly what that means.
That already happened.
Well, we recorded one with him on our channel that already went up. Dolphin Gamer asks, hey Kyle, what job did you want to get when you were little, and what got you into YouTube? That's a pretty good question. I think a really early...
What job did you want to do when you were little?
A really early one was actually I wanted to be a newspaper, comic strip artist.
Oh yeah, that's right, you told me that, yeah.
Because Calvin and Hobbes was my favorite book. I loved all of those, and a lot of my early artistic values I think come from Bill Watterson, the writer of those. And I just loved them. I used to make comic strips all the time. I had one that was up for sale for a while on a really early version of our site. I did comics of me and my friends in high school and sold that. And eventually moved into animation and then just kind of stepped it up because I found Nox in 2007 or something. Robert Benfer, he made all of the blue clay people animations back on Newgrounds. Those were the first thing I found on the internet, and I loved them. And I started listening to his podcast and realized you can just kind of do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, I want to do that, and then started trying to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of slowly graduated up the ladder and up until I was able to get like friends and a car and a camera and start filming stuff.
I wanted to be a marine biologist. But now I'm claustrophobic and terrified of everything, so I can't imagine a worse job.
You wanted to be a lot of things, it seems like, over the course of your life. You have a lot of different interests.
I do have a lot of different interests, but I really only wanted, like, job-wise, like, to be 2 things.
Yeah?
Yeah, like,
What
to
was
be
the
a marine
second?
biologist in middle school, and then high school to be a lawyer. And
Okay.
I still want to be a lawyer, so...
Are we actually back up? Are they, like, hearing us and everything?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Just want to make sure. We have... Piffenger. How are you able to do this much? How much do you work each day/week? You want to field this one?
So Kyle gets up and starts working at about 8. And then he stops working at about 1 in the morning.
I brought it back to like 11 now. I don't work quite as late anymore.
That's true. Now, that being said, there's about 3 hours in the day where he's not working.
Right, because I'm like eating or driving.
Sometimes
or
I'll
doing
take him
something
somewhere,
else.
yeah. But for the most part, I would say Kyle works well over
Right.
60 hours a week. I mean, just kind of...
I definitely work over my paycheck. Like, if I were doing the same amount of work for another company, I would be being drastically underpaid.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is it's not always like Skyvault work or Doormaster. Like, it's always just like little things here and there. It'll be script writing for 3 days, but then like in an hour or 2 in between there, you'll start working on like the website. You'll
Yeah.
start working on a different video. You'll start editing something. You're just pretty much consistently working.
Well, and I've been learning how to delegate a little bit more recently.
Right.
But all that I do is when gaps fill up, or when gaps open up, I just add in new things. So like
Yeah.
I hand stuff off to other people, and then I'm like, oh well, now I have time to do this, and then I go do that.
Right.
So then it just ends up making more stuff instead. I need it to, like, it doesn't always.
I wouldn't say that you dislike working.
No, it doesn't really feel like work to me most of the time. If I don't do it, I actually feel worse.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a worse mood when I'm not creating stuff or getting things done.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's just how I do.
Yeah, he works pretty hard.
What was the weirdest place you guys have gone to film and why? By King Talon. That's a good question. What is the answer to that question? That's
The
kind of a
weirdest
tough
place
one.
you've gone to film?
Yeah, we're the weirdest place we've gone to film.
The prison?
Prison was pretty cool. That might be one of the weirder ones. There's the guards themselves and the Half-Life videos. We went to this old abandoned prison in Georgetown, and
Night Watch?
it was pretty neat.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm trying to
they're
think of
all-
like what weird is.
Nothing weird, just cool.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing was like the most awkward things I can think of are like parking garages.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like weird situations actually. Being in the Spider-Man costume all day in the running corner store was kind of weird
That
because
was
people would
kinda
just walk
weird.
in and we're just filming and I'm dressed as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Doing the last Marvel Cops video, we're literally just crouching in the bushes outside an office building.
Yeah, that one was a little bit weird. Yeah, that was what I was thinking too. That was a little strange. But I guess no, like the locations have never been naturally weird or anything. Like
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the only thing. It's weird based on the juxtaposition of the location and what we're doing there.
Right.
Sometimes we make the location really weird.
yeah.
Yeah, those are the two off the top of my head. There might be some much better examples, but for some reason I'm having trouble thinking of them.
So many of them are in our apartments or houses or something like that. So yeah, it's hard to think about.
Yeah, because there were definitely some places that we had to run in and do something really just kind of like stressful and get it done really fast. We filmed at Comic Palooza at one point. That was interesting.
That was
Because things were just going on around, like the two of them actually we filmed at Comic Palooza. The one with Felicia Day. If we're just talking in just like emotional turmoil,
Yeah.
that was probably the strongest one.
That was weird.
Because we were like, this is such a weird thing to ask. I don't know if this is gonna work. We just kind of blacked out through the whole thing, but we ended up getting it.
Yeah.
Are you getting follow-ups on that at all?
No, just reading some of the comments, which are interesting.
Feel free to jump in if you see one that's fun that you want to answer. I'm just going through Joey's still.
Someone asked how we met, but we've gone over that quite. We met on a dating site.
Yeah. I think that's
We
included in a live
weren't
stream,
trying
right?
to date each other. We just met on the dating site.
Right. For the full story, I believe you can go to the launch party live stream from the Skyvault streams, and we talk about
Pretty early on
us
too.
near the, or
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Fun wisdom teeth story. No.
Blaster156 Gaming asks, how will you add animals in Skyvault? Like we use real ones or use CGI?
No, yeah.
There are no plans for animals in Skyvault.
Maybe like an occasional squirrel, if we have to.
There aren't aliens in Skyvault. If that might be the misconception. It's a space related thing, but it's only humans. We don't have like alien creatures or anything like that.
So there is a question that keeps coming up. People are asking about talking to like brother YouTube companies or sister companies, basically just other YouTubers that are similar to us in terms of grouping up or maybe funding projects like Rooster Teeth, like Corridor Digital, Rocket Jump, that kind of stuff. And no, we haven't actually talked to them about funding it or anything. We would like cameos. We would like to collaborate with them.
Well, places like Rocket Jump and Corridor are still getting their own funding from larger production companies anyway. Like they're not the kind of group that have money to pass around. They're more like us, where they're doing the work with other people's money.
It's hard to establish because they're a bigger YouTube channel. You can actually kind of figure out how much money YouTubers are bringing in based on their views. Like based on subscriber and views, but what you don't consider is like if someone's making $1 million a month or whatever, which there are plenty of YouTubers, not $1 million, but a couple $100,000 a month. You have to consider how many people get paid out of that company and what they're doing and what it's going to, because a lot of that money gets pushed into other things. Like I think Rocket Jump's big. I'm not sure they're big enough to be able to donate to us or invest. That would be more of a collaboration thing, which I think we definitely want to do, but we'd
love to work with them for sure.
Yeah, it's just not something we really thought about because
it might happen based on some current plans. We might end up working with people that have connections there. So we have a few people on our list actually.
We do actually. Yeah, that's good.
So there's a lot of names we're throwing around to try to get into Skyvault, but I don't want to mention any of them on the channel yet because we don't have anything nailed down. But once we do, I will be very happily telling you all of them, but we might end up having some connections to a few bigger channels like that. Major is apparently saying that you can plug it in via a micro USB charger cable, like what you use for a phone. So I'm going to try that real quick, if you want to keep answering stuff.
Okay, let's see what we've got. Let's see. Someone had asked, I just found some... Someone asked, how big do you think Skyvault will be? Do you have any thoughts on that, Kyle?
I mean, if it goes the way that it's currently going, it'll at least have a pretty good shot, because it'll be on Netflix as an original thing.
I think, if it's a Netflix original, I think it could be as good as, like, I think it could be as big as, well, hopefully as Stranger Things.
I mean, at that point, it just depends on how much people like it, really.
Yeah, it could be anywhere between Glow and Stranger Things.
Right.
Like, Glow is great. It's a great show. It was really popular when it came out, but it's not like Stranger Things. But that's only if it's a Netflix original. It's really too early to tell, I think. Writing-wise, it's good enough to be, like, Stranger Things or Community, something like that. It just kind of depends. I think it depends on actually how, like niche it'll be. So Carolyn has been asking, and then Airtraining asked again for Carolyn about extras for the guards themselves.
Oh yeah, we will still be needing some for the pilot, right? But we probably will just grab those from...
Themselves.
Oh, the guards themselves, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You said yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we will most likely need them, and we'll definitely be sourcing them from local fans, because that'll be the easiest thing to do.
Super excited I get to be in this one.
It's going to be a lot of fun, yeah. Actually, I'd be happy to answer some questions about that as long as they're not like, giving away plot points. Feel free to ask about the guards themselves as well.
Ask about the plot.
Well, I'm okay with answering like general kind of questions, but I don't want to get too specific. But yes, we will definitely be needing extras.
Including you, Carolyn, feel free.
Yeah, I can.
We'll be filming in San Antonio. So.
Yeah, we will be filming it almost entirely in San Antonio, I think, because it just has the look we want more than Austin does. And it's way easier to film in, and we have two people that know the San Antonio Film Commissioner personally now, so that's great.
Kyle's ears are fine.
What's
They're
wrong
fine.
with my ears?
Someone's been asking about your ears since literally like the beginning of the stream.
Why?
Because you said your face was bad.
Oh.
Your ears.
No,
your
my
ears are
hearing's
fine.
okay, actually. I've done alright with that.
Yeah.
Everything else doesn't work, but my ears are alright. I can be Daredevil. That can be my superpower.
Can we have the whole plot of the guards themselves?
No.
Well, you
Next question. Owen Harrison Townsend has asked this multiple times. What are your macaroni preferences? Is it too snarky to say with cheese?
Yeah, I was gonna say cheesy.
Actually, I like just dumping a
Shells.
whole box of Kraft macaroni into like a pot and cooking it all at once, and then getting like cold cut like ham and just like shredding it and mixing
He
it in
does
there.
like that.
It's great. It's my favorite like poor person snack.
Shells are the answer though.
So yeah, any the guards themselves questions that come up, feel free to ask. We also have another one from Phantom Gamer 28 that says, "What is your favorite classic video from White Lightning HQ stuff?" What's your favorite of the old videos?
When's the first video that we went Door Monster?
That's a good question, actually. I think it happened sometime around the Keyblade video, because we were talking
Oh,
about it in
God.
the behind the scenes for that one. So before that, before October, basically like.
I actually
first
got
and
involved right as you started changing the name, right?
Yeah,
so
right
anything
before.
basically before me
Bob Ross and Civ
and
5.
before were White Lightning.
Yeah, basically before that. I'm still partial to Gary the Misanthrope
I
a lot.
really like the well, I can't remember now if that was Door Monster. The one, the hunting one with you and Matlock. Is that White Lightning?
Oh, yeah, I think that was before Door Monster. The
Really
Stuffing
like
of
that.
Legends.
Stuffing of Legends. I really like that video.
Yeah. I also still really like the Ghost Finders as one of my
Ghost
favorites
Finders
of all
is
time.
great.
There's a common thread here you'll probably notice.
You?
Matlock.
Oh yeah, you're not in that one. You're not
Yeah.
in Ghost Finders. Yeah, it's definitely
filmed it.
Matlock. He really brings something
Actually, I
extra.
am in it. I'm at the very end, but I was just like in a little like one line.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matlock was always really fun. He has a
Yeah.
part in Skyvault in one of the episodes
He does.
once we get to it, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Hacker Fight is Door Monster, right?
Hacker Fight may have been before Door Monster, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let's see, we have a TGT2 question from Salfer. It says, are you planning on funding it all by yourselves, or are you going to do another Kickstarter for it? We were basically just planning on...
We're gonna fund it
Okay,
ourselves, but
yeah.
it's not gonna be like a big funded project. I mean,
Right.
cigars themselves, we're gonna put a little bit more time and energy into it. But we already have really great equipment.
Movie number one was $4,000, and we beat that every, 2 months now, so...
Jeez, when you
Yeah.
put it that way. Yeah, I think it'll. I mean, everybody's a better actor, so that'll help. We have way better cameras. We'll have someone designated for the aesthetic of the guards themselves, which
We're
is a
also
lot.
we're hoping to use a little bit of the leftover Skyvault budget on it, so we might be able to
Yeah, maybe,
move
yeah.
a few thousand from that over to the guards themselves, and then we have a decent credit limit on our credit card as well, so we can kind of spread the payments out over it. So we'll have a good wiggle room of about $10,000 probably.
I'm starting a petition to have Matlock play Jay Harper.
What? Marcus Paris
I love
asked,
that all the mods are talking. That's so cool.
asked who was it who played Messier, and will they be in the next one? That was my brother Reed, who is exactly 1 inch taller than me, and makes all of our props, and has been building our Skyvault props, and built the Messier suit.
Is he gonna be it?
And I asked him about it, and he said he was up for it. He showed up every single day last time, and he wasn't being paid. So if he was willing to do it, and it was in the summer, and this time it won't be. So it's a much sweeter deal for him this time. So it's entirely likely that he will be reprising his role. And then Joey did the voice, so we still have both of them on board.
Yeah.
Um,
Might be good to have Joey's face in it.
yeah, well, Joey's face was actually in the last one all over the place.
That's true,
And-
but I mean, like, moving.
And under a lot of things, Joey was like half of the security guards.
That's a good point, yeah. But I mean...
I think
yeah.
the tradition should be we continue just seating Joey in just as multiple different people.
Let's ask Joey what he wants.
Or we can give it an actual part, yeah, we'll do whatever.
He is,
feel
like,
doing.
one of the best actors in
Yeah.
Door Monster. So it might be nice to have him, I don't know,
He has
act.
He actually, he ended up having a pretty big part in
Skyvault.
Skyvault.
He still does.
Yeah, he's actually the
Just-
biggest door monster part in Skyvault now.
He's just one of the biggest parts in Skyvault. One of them. I mean, he gets a whole episode.
Yeah, he's the villain in an episode. So.
Yeah, and he's gonna do such a fantastic job.
Yeah.
This is good. Everything that we're going through for Skyvault is good, but there are some things that I'm just like sad can't happen as soon as I want them to happen.
Right.
Like filming with Joey as
Right.
as
No.
a
Yeah, I
character.
can't wait to see Joey and his whole costume and everything. It's gonna be great. Any more of the guards themselves questions? I think we can go for like another 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Assuming our camera, if our camera shuts off again, we'll just end it because
Someone says I think
don't have
JP
enough
and
battery.
Ethan are probably your best actors from an acting perspective.
They're both good too.
They're fantastic. I don't think they're better than Joey.
We have some good. I think it depends on the part they're playing. But
Yeah,
I've seen
maybe.
JP and Ethan really nail certain parts also.
I'm honestly the best actor because I act like I'm not constantly suffering pain and anxiety, depression.
Boo.
It counts.
Joey's great.
Joey's
Ethan's great.
pretty
JP's great. Jeffrey's
The
fantastic.
important
You got a
thing
pretty
is
good
that
joke
Kyle
also.
and Ian are awful. Get out of here, both of you.
I'm okay.
You're like a solid C.
Oh, thank you.
B minus.
Teal, he can answer. You still going to make the VR series? That one's actually been bumped pretty far down our list, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I like the idea when we were working on it, but we just have too many other things going on right now, which is
We ran
too
into
bad.
some problems, and then we're like, what about Skyvault?
It wasn't really, like, it was really just, the problem was we need to focus on one thing, what's that going to be, and we picked Skyvault, and so that one just kind of fell by the side, and now there's just too many things on top of it.
Right,
And-
Lola's here. Where's she gone? Gannon has taken care of her, I guess. I think she's under your chair.
Is she?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. There she is. Lola, come say hi.
Oh no.
Look, it's the Lola.
Aww, she's so fluffy. You're so fluffy kitty. Hi.
Anything you'd like to say to the fine people?
Lola, speak now, or forever hold your peace.
Guess she's
She's
good.
got
What's
nothing,
my question?
I guess. It's a lot of Lola.
Well, you were digging into my arm.
Did any of the DM crew study film acting or stage acting at the college level?
I don't think so, actually. We have I think the most, like,
Joey didn't study acting. He was
he was
just
at the
in
Art
love
Institute
stuff,
with
right?
me.
Yeah.
That's right. Joey actually was an actor as a kid. He was in a movie with some pretty big name actors. In fact, if you go to his IMDb page, he was in
Right.
Infamous, which had like it was a movie about Truman Capote, and I forget who all it has in it, but it has like a lot of A-listers in it.
Yeah.
That's really the closest any of us were to the industry, and then a few of us did like high school acting, but nobody studied it professionally after that.
Someone says I don't think I've seen Allison in any videos, but I haven't seen all the Door Monster videos. I'm in like most of the D&D ones, right?
Might be watching them chronologically, in which case you don't show up until halfway
That's a
through.
good point, yeah. If you're doing the playlist, then I don't show up for a long time.
Yeah. Also, it's hard to recognize her most of the time, so...
Ha! That's true, you might have seen me. I'm actually in a White Lightning one.
Yeah, she's in the Five Nights at Freddy's video. She
Oh,
has
I was
a
gonna offer
cameo
fake
part.
money if they could
Oh,
figure out
sorry.
which one.
I
Oh.
ruined it. Grim Plays Game says, Kyle's the best actor as long as he plays a sleep-deprived Russian.
Wait, but
I agree.
you're so much worse than Ian at the Russian thing. Ian is so much better than you at that. So, I mean, you're right, but just like you're still surpassed. You'll always be second best.
Tristan asks, will the hobo make a cameo in either project? Yes, in Skyvault, but I'm not going to tell you where.
You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said it.
I think it's okay to say it, but you have to find it. It's gonna be snuck in.
Let's see. What else we got? You got anything else?
That was all from Joey's list. And my other... Oh, Matlock asked, can I have a job? Apparently he's watching.
Is he in the guards themselves?
No. He wasn't in the first one. Problem with the guards themselves is that we already, like, all the main people exist already, so we have to, like, it's hard to bring in extra people. But as soon as we come up with one, yes.
I think we should just couple
We
up
will.
Joey and Matlock as a crime-fighting duo, and then the guards themselves.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, they could be like a Dr. Draken couple from Kim Possible, where
There
they're
you
like
go.
not real villains. They just like come in and just like are a nuisance,
Yeah.
but they're also like an adorable couple. I could really see it working.
We have Cookie Ass will DoodleCon make an appearance. Maybe. I would say no, but I know that the urge will strike me at some point, so I can't promise that he won't be in there.
Now everybody wants the hobo to be the main character of Skyvault, and it's all your fault.
We have will Squire be in either project? We would like to get him to cameo in.
Nobody. He'll be at our wedding. So
he might actually be visiting. We talked to him recently, and he's going to try to visit Texas soon initially. So no.
Okay, just wondering.
Yeah, cool. That's probably pretty good for now.
Someone said, I want to see Allison in a fake beard for another hobo video. I'm actually wearing one in the behind the scenes of the hobo video that happened with you and my brother, and I look amazing. Truly my best look. I think I saved a screenshot of it somewhere because of how absolutely stylish I looked. I look just like my uncle. He's a stylish man.
Here, we have one more question from Sam Owen that says, what's your plans for the future of the guards themselves looking beyond the current sequel project? Our current plans are 2 more movies, including this next one, so that it would eventually end up being 3 parts. Basically, the idea is we want the next one to be accessible to people finding it for the first time. So we want the guards themselves to feel more like a prequel to what we're about to make than the other way around. It won't actually be called the guards themselves, anything, like it'll have its own name.
I figured it would be called the guards themselves.
We talked about earlier, like just giving it its own fresh name and having like a series name, but having it be more like the Cornetto trilogy or something that Edgar Wright makes, where they're like related, but they're not exactly like that because it is a single storyline, but having each one kind of have its own title rather than being like a.
Oh, which actually
series.
Answers this question. It says, do I have to be familiar with the guards themselves to enjoy the new one?
Right.
No.
Yeah, the plan is to make sure that it's still completely watchable without it.
It needs to be standalone. It's kind of like it needs to stand alone well, but it will be sequel. Yeah. Not so the guards, the first one is prequel. This one will be a sequel to it.
Yeah.
But it will
feel more like the first one was a prequel. In universe, the first movie exists in this movie. Like it was a documentary that was made, so like the pre-existing one is referenced at some point. But that way people can find this one if we get it, kind of on a bigger platform, and then they can go like, oh well, now I want to go see where these people used to be, and then go watch the old one and kind of like see the previous versions of them and stuff like that.
People are asking if Lola's in the guards themselves. I will not answer that question.
Guess we'll just have to find out. I don't know the answer to this question either, but it sounds like it might have been made without my.
I know the answer to this question.
And
the guards themselves too. Guard harder.
Guard harder. And then there'll be a sequel to the movie that we're making, because there's going to be a 3rd part. We have that one roughly planned out as well.
Yeah.
And and then that will kind of wrap up that whole story, and then we'll keep making the rest of ours. The kind of fun thing is all the stories that I have in my head and that we're working on are all kind of connected in different ways, but I'm just leaving it open for people to kind of figure out how.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun because it kind of feels like working on one giant project all at the same time too.
Mhm.
Cool. Well, do you have anything else you want to say or talk about?
This is the most Ethan joke I've ever seen. The gourds themselves. It's all about pumpkins. Who snuck Ethan in our chat?
So I will eventually we will make the self-fulfilling idiocy card game, right? And then we will after that we will make expansion packs to it. Like if it does well with extra characters. And one of those expansion packs will be called the cards themselves.
Stop. Stop. I thought you were going to have a Gourds expansion.
No. Just a new pun.
Like the fall version of the game. But okay, I guess not.
And then we have one more from Iris Cantrell that says, do you have a fight choreographer for this season of the guards themselves? We will be using Edwin again, actually.
We will be using Edwin for the rest of our life.
Yes.
As a fight
He's going to be the official
everything.
Dormonster fight choreographer basically forever.
We're willing to share him if you pay him lots of money, because he's worth it. But we get first dibs because he likes us.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up before our camera dies again, so thank you all for joining in. If you have any further questions, feel free to email us at contact@doormonster.tv. We'll post this up on the site soonishly. I'll just roughly cut it together real quick. And I guess I'll have to download it because I didn't start recording it to the actual computer because I'm dumb. But yeah, We should have... I actually don't know if we're going to have a behind-the-scenes video this Monday. We really just kind of fell behind in these last couple weeks, and I do apologize for that. But I'm back into it, like we're going to get back on top of everything, and we will be back the following Monday with Elite Dangerous, and I'm going to try to just write and film basically everything within a couple weeks, ideally, and just get it all knocked out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the plan. So once Elite Dangerous starts, we'll be back on our regular schedule with that and behind the scenes and community comments and everything coming out when it's supposed to, like it was doing before.
I think we should live stream our wedding.
Do you though?
A little bit. Tiny bit. I don't think anybody should watch it, but I think we should do it.
We'll think about it.
All the
right.
Door Monster people will be there. So.
Well, thanks for joining.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Give him one last word of inspiration, Allison.
I don't have any.
Say something inspiring.
Brush your teeth twice a day.